getting into relationships at any point in,
Yeah.
at least the
Yeah.
seniors, you know. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, and not that I'm a hardcore bachelor for the last, you could, single woman for the, ever since my divorce for the last 40 years. So
Uh-huh.
but I was just curious and I just thought maybe sometimes one feels that one, would like a companion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
thought, but
We're
I,
going to cover all of this.
yeah,
And we sometimes we have people who are younger than 60, but a little who have seniors and super seniors in their lives. Might
yeah,
be a sibling or a parent, and some of these things come up with them. And I
yeah.
must tell you, since we've not started, I could tell you specifically. Our very first question had in fact come from a person who's very. It was very specific. This is a much more general question that's come.
Okay.
He was being
You know,
really
so,
hassled. Huh.
sorry, I'm just starting my video for 2 seconds just to say I'm a human alive. I'm here. And not, it's not just AI, but I'd rather keep this off because
Sure, sure.
yeah, I'm
Huh.
actually lying down and resting. I've been,
Okay.
have my
We'll.
yeah.
Acha. Huh.
I'm going
Okay.
to participate, but lying down and not very
Sure, sure, sure.
presentable, hence.
Okay, sure, sure.
And
Yeah.
curtains are drawn. I'm napping, almost napping, sort of thing.
Okay, okay, okay,
So
okay.
please go ahead.
Yeah, so I was
Please
saying,
go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Acha, can everybody see my video? It suddenly vanished.
Oh, we
Yes.
can, I mean,
Oh, you
can
can see.
see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was just telling Padmini that our very first question was from a senior gentleman who had been introduced to somebody and had met her once or twice, and they were looking to take it forward, go maybe on a small holiday together to know each other better. And uh, her children, grown children, uh, were very okay about it. All they wanted was that they meet him once. While his children were being, who don't even live with him and not in the same country, extremely judgmental and non-cooperative, and saying things like, please don't make a fool of yourself and us, and giving him a hard time. And he just wanted to know, how to do this without losing his, the connect with his children and yet serving himself also. So that was our very first question.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, in fact, my kids would be, they would jump, they would fly balloons off the rooftop if I managed to find a companion or somebody
How
to get,
lovely.
to
Huh.
get off their case because, I'm always, what happens. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
God,
yeah,
my work. Thank God, thank God.
yeah, yeah. Correct, correct.
So
Yeah.
like 7 days, or you could say 9 days out of 10, we don't communicate at all, or except for significant things or
Correct,
whatever, sharing stuff. But
correct.
on the 10th day, I will ask them, or like one daughter goes out at night, Acha, do you have a car? I mean,
Mhm.
don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
That stupid mother thing. And she's like 47 years old, traveled and lived all over the world. So how does
Mm.
let go that motherhood issue? But anyway, that's another. So,
Yeah.
but I have not been very interested in finding a partner because I think as we grow older, but I don't want to get into your cut. You
No,
please
no. But
run
yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah. No,
run this
no.
big
We
one.
will come back to what you're saying, because I will speak just, about for like 20-25 minutes of addressing step by step what
Yeah,
issue. And then we'll open it to the thing, and please do share what you're saying.
yeah, sure.
So, and a lot of people listen silently, don't participate, but it's very valuable to them what other people talk. They
Yeah,
get
yeah,
that back with them. So,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
So, for any reason, if others don't join, and if
We'll just start.
next gen and you decide that let's just close this session, I would love to chat with you privately. Maybe we can speak on a call at another.
Yeah. No, no, we'll have that though we will do, but let us definitely have this session. That's not a thing, because
Okay,
it's also appearing simultaneously on live on YouTube. So we
okay,
will keep this call. That's not a problem. Yeah.
sure.
In
So,
fact, I think we should start. Yeah.
okay.
So let me welcome everybody to Dil Ki Baatein with me, Gouri Dange. The theme today is dating for seniors. And as I just said, that was one of our very first questions, which was very specific to somebody who had already entered early years, early weeks of a relationship, and was having problems with the generation, his children, who were not at all happy with this. And that is something. But today I'll just read out the question. It has come from Hari. It says, Gauri ma'am, I'm a widower and I agree with my friends that I should consider remarriage or a companionship arrangement with a lady. Some people have told me that they have someone in mind for me too. My kids are for it too. But I do want to think it through, what to expect, what to commit to, what not to commit to. What openly can one ask right at the outset? I've looked at internet resources on this subject, but it is all about dating. He's put the word in inverted commas, which is not a word that I relate to. Though I live in US, I'm a 68-year-old Indian and was married at the age of 26. Our ghar grahasti or ghar grahasti sambhali nibhai. It was a love marriage, but almost like arranged, as we came from very similar backgrounds and our aims and goals in life matched easily. And we were young. There were different pulls and pushes and priorities at that time. Now, my friends are saying that I'm overthinking it and I should just take the leap. I will frankly, definitely not take any leap. I need some help to figure out how to conduct a first meeting, what can and cannot be talked about. Thank you for your time and focus on important issues on this forum, ma'am. Okay, so this is one important thing that has come up straight away from his questions, which is which are the things that you can ask outright on a first, second meetup or second meetup, and which are the things that you may not ask directly, but I would say must remain at the back of your mind when you're getting a sense of the person. So there'll broadly be things that can be outright asked, in a way, a lot like just two young people meeting, but the content of what you will ask, what your priorities are, is of course vastly different now. Funnily, there is no real urgency, and yet none of us are getting younger, so there is a certain urgency too. Not urgency is not the right word, but time boundness to it. So I think understanding and managing our own and other the other person's expectations, managing expectations is a very important part of this. So, unlike younger dating amongst the younger people, senior dating involves more than just chemistry or shared interests and that one big driver, which is starting a family. It can include practical considerations, many more practical considerations. So, what are you looking for is something uh, that we'll let's just run through which are those practical considerations that need to be looked at. What comes up, of course, not exclusively but importantly, is financial situations. That becomes important to know. If the first of all, if the person can support themselves. It may be, you may not straight off be able to ask like that, but most seniors are retired and living on maybe fixed incomes. So it's good to understand their situation. You could you could ask a simple question. It may not be the first question straight off, but when you get down to talking about that, are you retired? Do you still work? How do you take care of your expenses? This will help you learn, even if that person doesn't give you solid facts and figures, where they're coming from. Talking about money might feel a bit uncomfortable, but it's better to know early on because a stable financial situation is what anybody's looking for. Even if you should make it clear, if your situation is not stable and you're looking for financial stability by getting involved with somebody, even that can be spelled right out, you know. Uh, Sex and intimacy. Sex and intimacy is something that, again, it's not something that will come out right on the first date, but to get a measure of, seniors can be at very different places on this. Somebody may still feel that they have the need for, sexual connects and intimacy, if not, sorry. Um, and the other person might be so done with it. At a certain age, you say, "Oh, sab ho gaya. I'm not looking for anything physical. I don't feel physical." This is something to know, because it can be a very big deal breaker and a source of awkward, awkward kind of disappointment with each other. So to find a way to uh, get a sense of where you stand at this, or to be able to say that quite frankly, that I am looking at intimacy also. Um, health. Health is another big one with in this, it's with seniors, it's with in any people, even young people need to declare if there is a big but health issue. But with older people, it's very important, where you can ask, how do you stay active? Get a sense of whether the person is fit, is fitness conscious. Do you have any health concerns that I should know about? These are quite legit questions that you can ask. Or better still, say that I am, whatever, I've been a diabetic for X years, but I take care of it. And you can clarify that you don't expect the other person to be your health coach. If you want to assure a person, because that is one hesitation from people, that I'll meet somebody brand new and I will have a brand new set of health issues to look after of somebody who I hardly know. So it's good to know about those things. Put it on the table about yourself and ask about the other person. Um, family perspective. What are your children? You should know. You should be able to say, my children are very for this, or my children will take their time over this. I haven't spoken to them. I will tell them only when there's something to tell. There can be so many different situations, but to put that question out there, so that again you go ahead with something, you take a great liking to somebody, and then suddenly, you're telling the person, I don't know, my children are dead against it, and the whole thing, then again, a, a very sort of drastic break put on things. So whatever it is, even if you've just not yet told your children, to be able to say it, and that I'll take care of it if something comes up important about the family dynamics. And connected with that is the your own involvement with your family. The person should know if how much you meet your children and your grandchildren, how much you want to be involved in their lives, how much you expect a partner to be involved. You may feel this is what I do. You're welcome to join in some of those things. You're absolutely fine if you don't. But this area of intersection, I think, has to be clarified to the person who you're getting involved with. One another biggie is values and beliefs, religion, politics, place of religion rituals in your life. Whether you suppose you're non-ritualistic, but you don't have a very strong opinion on somebody who does go, say, to the church or the temple or whatever, and religion is important, but is willing to be on parallel tracks about it. Important thing to find out. Very painful if you suddenly realize the person assumes that you will be as religious or irreligious as them. Um, so, and today it's also politics and all of those things. One doesn't have to write an editorial about it, but just to get a sense of what the person's stand is on, caste, class. It can be just part of drawing room conversation. Important to know, because more and more people have stronger feelings about these things. Other relationships. It's good to know who the other friends, non-romantic relationships are. Who are your important friends? What are your priorities? How often do you meet them? Um, and to clarify, if you want extreme exclusivity, there's some people who feel, no, now that we are together, other friends. But at our age, it's not it's not a good idea to close off other friendships because you found somebody. So that area needs to be, if not discussed, you yourself able to volunteer information. My friends are very important to me, or I go golfing, or I volunteer at this place. Stuff in which the other person is not necessarily going to be involved, and which takes up your time, and you're happy to give that time. Important to tell by both partners. Interests, maybe some very abiding interests and esoteric small interest, which the other person not expected to be part of. But yes, this preoccupies me. I like to do this. This is important for me. And then you can look at shared activities, other stuff where you can intersect. Um, Past relationships. It doesn't have to be you sit down and tell me all about your relationships, but when you chat, to get a sense of what the person's primary relationship up until now was like, and what they've brought from it. Is there bitterness? Is there is there a red flag thing where the person now expects, maybe in a bad relationship expects now all of it to be wiped out by this new relationship? Unrealistic. That's unrealistic. But you must know if what their expectations from this relationship are vis-a-vis the earlier relationship. How do they talk about their ex? Do they speak respectfully? Do they speak ex, could be ex or late spouse? How, their views, how they view their past relationships can reveal how they handle disagreements, or, how they challenges that come up in the current one. So I think you're looking for certain amount of self-awareness in the other person also, self-knowledge. All of this, some of it may really appear too personal on a first date, but these are there in the air in your mind when you meet somebody. They can lead, such questions can lead to, uh, uh, more honest conversations and a kind of groundwork that can be laid for a stronger relationship. Um, I'm just looking at my notes, 1 second. Food habits, and the production of food. Important to know. It can happen that senior men assume women will, if a woman comes into their lives, she'll take charge of the kitchen. A senior woman might have no such interest again in life, even if she has done it all her life. Important to talk. Otherwise, it's the kind of thing that can be unpleasantness from the next day. Um, how What is the scope of the relationship that both are looking for? Because it ranges right from I want to remarry to I want a loosely connected companionship arrangement, which is what he's used that word, that people are telling me to either marry or have a companionship arrangement. Then what is the scope of that companionship? How much exclusivity you want? How much the legal aspect if you're going to marry? All those things could be very different for two different people. Even the quantum of how often you meet, how often you attend things together could be different. And I think in the initial stages of meeting, you'll get a sense of how much the person, how well the person or you deal with meeting, but sometimes not meeting, because other stuff is in their lives in which you're not included. It's a dangerous place to jump into a second innings, what we call a second innings, with the feeling as if this is going to be your, in Hindi they call it nuksan bharpai. Everything that went wrong with everything in my life until now is going to get fixed because of this. Not going to happen, and shouldn't be an expectation from both people. Um, one one thing that I feel I need to say here is that quite quite apart from man woman romantic liaison, there is the possibility of two people getting together. It could be two men, two women, who just decide that they need. I see in where I live in Pune, there are singles clubs which do not have older people singles club. They call it, there's one called Ananta Yatri, which is, journeying together. They're just activity partners, all of them. If it develops into something romantic is different, nobody stops that. But the idea is to uh, not feel, no, how can I go to so and so place alone? You have somebody to go to a music program with, you want to go to Bhutan, you want somebody to go with. Activity partners. You may be also of the opposite sex, but you peg it at that. This is a possibility. Or and it could be a same-sex friendship, which is really based on doing stuff together, including I actually personally know a pair of women who live in a senior facility who've known each other now almost 15, 20 years, met only there. But they take 2 annual holidays to their children abroad and they both go together. And the children there are also very happy because they have company in the travels, they have company where they go. And this is now the modern family. Nobody's calling anybody, relatives. Nobody's making their wills out to each other. Nothing. But this is a jodi. It is a jodi. These two ladies are a jodi. And with no legal binding, no sexual wash to it. But they are the most important relationship for each other currently, adult, same age relationship. So I would also say to Hari that keep in mind that everything does not have to be marriage and a romantic and a one-on-one exclusive relationship. If you're looking for companionship after 60, 65, it can come in many different forms. And I don't mean just, join a Scrabble club, I'm saying one-on-one with somebody where you do ask the other person first if you're going to go traveling or you're going to go to a music program or bird watching or visiting your children. Your first priority mostly could be that other person, and it has no you know um, necessarily does not have a sexual connect at all. But I think we should keep this in mind, that companionship, quite intentional, not just casually, can come from non-romantic, non-sexual relationships, which are very can become solid, supportive, enjoyable one-on-one partnerships. That's about what I have. Let me see, what have I missed out? One second. Yeah, that's about it. So to quickly run through the things we are looking at are um, religion, money, food habits, the finance, money. We said one more point I have is that it's important to ask if there is and understand if there is a super senior involved. So many of us in our 60s have, 85, 90-year-old parents, and that is a biggish commitment for you. Or you might have a much older than you sibling, and that is a commitment for you. It's important to know whether that is something you are comfortable with uh, as an existing situation in the person you are meeting. And it's perfectly fine to feel, if you have gone through it yourself and feel I don't have the energy to get involved with more needs of parental figures, that is also fine. And if you feel fine, this is comes with the package of this other person, and that's fine. But it is something that has to be found out, and know, you must know about it. Yeah, that is the list of things that I feel when he asks us, can you tell me? He's very reluctant to use the word dating, Hari. He says this dating is too American a thing. and it means another thing in the culture where I live. But for me, it's a whole other thing. So I will not leap into it casually, is what he's saying. So I think, for want of a better word, we will call it dating in the senior. I have called the theme that dating in the among seniors. Um, the word dating has just got associated with as a very halka pulka word. It's not, but it is, all of this is also dating. It is dating, but it's a very, I don't think he's overthinking when he's saying I'm taking my time over it. I don't think anybody should be pushed into taking decisions quickly about such a thing, you know. And people on the outside who are saying do it quickly because then all your life's problems will be over are not really looking at the situation in all its dimensions when about two people, two seniors coming together. Okay, that is what I have to say about this. Any questions? Padmini, you want to add something to this? Anybody else wants to say something else? Any experiences, any advice, any warnings?
No, I don't really have any questions at all. I
Hmm.
just had one thought that when right at the start you said about how do you ask people things about their finances and
Yeah,
all questions to discover all these things about another person,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think comes over two, three, four different meetings. It
Meetups. Yeah, yeah,
doesn't happen off the bat.
yeah,
So it really depends on what the person I think would have in mind. Is it like, they say, okay, you dekha dekhi, you go and meet somebody with the explicit purpose of sussing him out, and you decide, you meet on a dating app or something. You say,
yeah,
"Chalo, let's meet," and then you grill each other over all these things.
yeah.
It's not that happens too, I think, and that has worked
For
very well
some.
for
Yeah,
so many friends of mine as
yeah.
well as relatives and so on internationally, not here.
Ah,
uh, for me, of course, something like that, I mean, you feel a bit awkward. You have to get to know somebody offhand, sort of as a, what is the feeling you get with that person, I
yes,
think,
yes.
rather than being very, very, what you call,
Questionnaire driven.
scientific and like doing a formula that, okay, I'm now going to get into this mode and question this person and ask this and that. And
Yeah,
so I am there just to just hang out, meet this person, meet over a drink. Okay, so for me, food and wine is very important. So
okay.
I would always meet the person in a restaurant
Hmm.
or a coffee or whatever. You see if the person has the same interests, as in the kind of place to go to, what kind of vibe he or she likes. I mean, I'm not a she person at all.
Ah, ah, ah.
I
No,
totally,
but you're saying this. If
I'm not they, them.
Hani is listening, then she applies to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm just thinking that maybe one can't. It depends on the people on this chat and the audiences here who are listening to this in on YouTube or wherever.
Yeah.
That's what they have in their mind, what they're hoping to get out of this, and what you've covered all ground. Of course, fantastic. It's a great wide spread of the things to think about and keep in mind, because
Ah,
even though, although emotion, or what do you call it, impulsive or spontaneous
ah,
attraction to somebody
ah.
can happen
Yeah.
on, say, there are 10 counts or 12 counts on which you assess somebody like you did. Sorry,
Right.
I'm going into territory. You asked me just to, I'm just
Please
stating
do.
my.
Please do. Yeah.
So you covered 12 points, say
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
family, finance,
Yeah.
religion, other people in the
Yes.
family, uh,
Yes.
whatever commitments one has, and so
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep that in mind, and what one is really seeking from a relationship at this point. I think
That's
the main thing is purpose, number one. Why? That
mm,
for
mm,
what has got them into this groove, number one.
yeah.
That what has now at this age and is it boredom? Is
Mm,
it finance? Like you said, is it the reason for finance, someone to share financial or your life with and things?
yeah.
In
Yeah.
my case, I first of all, I'm not even looking, but
Yeah.
these are I'm just sharing, thoughts that maybe one needs to see. For me, I'm a very you could say a right brain person. I don't use my left brain very much. People are sensible in this world, logical, which is my first marriage. I was divorced at age after not age at after 6 years of marriage with
Acha.
two small children. I
Oh,
was divorced. It was
mm,
a disaster. So
mm,
obviously I
mm,
wasn't using my left brain and my logic and my thought and my everything.
mm,
So
mm,
I mean, everyone gets married for different reasons. Is
yes.
it emotion? Is it heart? Is it so? But for me, I think that is important. I would
Mm,
never logically think, okay, this person is earning this much.
yeah.
I'm going to have a nice home
Yeah.
and I'll have 10 servants at my beck and call. So I will marry this
That's not a driver. That's not a driver.
not
Yeah.
for me, not
Yeah.
for,
But
but
for you, correct, correct. Yeah.
many people it is, Gauri.
Yes. 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 Oh,
It really,
definitely.
and they don't care about infidelity, and
Mm,
they have open marriages, at least in
yeah.
Bombay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hearing all, I'm sure in Pune and anywhere in
Yeah. Yes. So
one.
what we would consider core values are not core values for us. No.
But core is so subjective also.
So what we meaning somebody what one person says is a core value is not for the other person.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah. So
yeah.
this is a very tough topic. I mean, very, very, very wide ranging, and there are so many gray areas and so many balls up in the air, and so many
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
variables.
Variables. And I think if like I said towards the end, nobody needs to be hurried into it because the people around you are uncomfortable with your being alone. And they feel, there is that tendency to make jodis.
Yeah,
That can't be the reason you'll do it. Even living arrangements, you may not, it's something to talk about if you're meeting somebody. Both may not be very interested in merging homes if both can afford to live in their own homes and may keep two separate homes. All of this goes into the making of that relation. It's still a relationship. You may be in a full-on relationship, but both keep very much their separate spaces. Um, but like you were saying earlier, somebody else's agenda could be I'll get stability. Yeah? I'm just living in some, place, or I'm living with my son. Not happy to do that. I
yeah,
want so
and there's there's a whole topic which you, of course, I'm sure have covered is abuse. Mental
yeah,
abuse, senior abuse, all that,
of
which I
course, of
know
course.
this platform has covered. I'm sure they have or
Yeah,
will
yeah,
do, and you, I'm sure, come up against this in your work and your life and your activities. But it
yeah,
is really the cause why many people feel the need to change their situation
yeah,
and find and get out of there at any cost.
yeah,
And
yeah.
but that is also very scary. It's really
So, yeah, it's like in the old, when you were younger, if you did that, what they used to call a jailbreak marriage. Say you have parents and you want to run from them, and you just run in any direction and then make a big mistake.
right.
Same thing could happen with
Yeah,
this, So, yeah,
but
but
should
it's
not
not
that.
outright abuse.
Do you think that is don't you think that is a recipe for failure if you're looking for somebody
To
to
rescue,
as
bus.
an outside, as an out
Yeah,
for the situation you're in,
yeah,
then
yeah,
it's bound, it'll fail, right? It's a
yeah. Well, you don't know. So suppose somebody goes about it in this fashion, like a semi-arranged thing, and comes clean, saying, "I am looking for same age thing, a partner, and not be. You may not be even abused in your son's home, but maybe you're just neglected. You're just feeling irrelevant. Maybe you're being dumped upon to look after grandchildren, stuff that
Yeah,
you're not happy to do. Say,
right, right.
yes, which you're not happy to be involved.
And you're not getting love, recognition, or
No.
like
Yeah.
you said, you're being neglected, or nobody even realizes you exist, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And if that is a legit reason which you spell out to somebody, saying, I just want to be, I think there's more to me than this, and I'm bringing that more into this, into a new relationship. That's what I'm looking at. There's
right.
more to me than just, uh,
Yeah. I
every.
think everyone should come at every situation, come and ask you, Chalo, this is my situation now, what do I do? I think you should take on, like, whoever's listening to this, if there are people on YouTube or wherever,
Ah,
they decide to find, if they find somebody, then you can guide them up.
this,
I was very interested because it's a subject that interests me on relationships and things, but I know end of the day I'm going to a tail between my legs. I'm going to end up in my bedroom with my television and my glass of wine.
and why not? And why not?
I
I'll
love my own a quiet space.
Correct, correct, correct. And that's why one of the things I want to say to Hari, if he's feeling that he's being pushed, is that you can do this and that. I mean, you can be, have days when you come in back into your own little cave and are happy, but you do have somebody to go out with. This loosely structured thing is a perfectly reasonable thing to want. I think many people are also scared of outright getting into, now suddenly from tomorrow I'm a couple, and I also know some which have really not worked out for, because you have kind of leapt. What he's saying, I'm not going to leap, which is आंखें बंद करो और बोलो कि चलो, from now on I'm going to be a couple with this person. Not advisable at all, I think, for younger people say that you're thinking too much, get married, everything falls into place. Maybe also there, maybe. Because, there are other things that come into play, including if you want to have children and all of that. But for somebody who's autonomous now, quite autonomous, like you're describing yourself, um, but you're looking to have something a little more than this, but on your terms, on that person's terms. It's important not to have external people drawing the drawing the chart for you of how this should go. So I think this companionship thing is of your same age. Of course, you have me. Even you have very nice children. We're very happy to have you around. You may have lovely grandchildren, but sometimes a lot of thinking people want the company of their own, somebody from their own bandwidth, whether it's money wise or age wise or interests wise. And to seek that out, I think is absolutely legit. And it's not a question of, "Are फिर से शादी करोगे अभी? Is this the age?" Can't be pushed only into that place. Okay. Anyone else? I will tell you what the next thing is. The next theme is a question that's come. The theme is about senior living facilities, pros, cons, how to decide whether they are worth going into. I'm not talking about the financials or the logistics so much as, is this decision something, how does one take this decision, and does it apply to everybody. And the question has come from a couple about this, and both are on very different pages about considering investing in senior living facilities. So the question next week is going to be about this, the theme. Okay. Anything else, Padmini? Anything you want to add?
No, I'm actually the other end of the spectrum. I'm not looking for a relationship, so I really shouldn't be in this chat or belong here. But I just was,
Obviously, given it thought and you've observed people,
yeah,
no, who have maybe chased it, who
yeah.
who are without it but very unhappy.
Very unhappy, yeah. So
Hmm.
I was actually very interested to know if there were, like, what your personal interactions or experiences have been with people looking for relationships after a certain age in life.
Yeah.
And what are in India also, particularly, things are changing socially. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
big,
Yeah. 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 And
very,
you know, that old construct that somebody remarries, the man remarries so that somebody will look after the house, and the woman remarries so that somebody will look after her bank balance. That construct is not that. This could also be one of the things, but it doesn't hold, and then it's very dangerous to jump into it thinking these are the only two reasons that
yeah.
people should get together.
Exactly. I
No?
mean, I think a fantastic way of really getting to know someone,
Ah,
or so they say. I have never ventured it because I'm so particular about my own is travel. They say when you go on, even do a 3 day trip or a 2 day, one night, two
yes.
nights,
Yeah.
go to Alibag from Bombay,
Yes.
spend a day with somebody, a group of friends,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so that's a slow. If somebody wants to get in,
Yeah.
uh, I think that might be the way to go. But I'm just very lazy because I don't want to get out of my
Yeah.
own comfort zone right now. I mean, that's me. Okay, I don't want to keep coming back to me as an
Ah,
example. I'm the worst example.
oh,
I'm
no.
not somebody looking.
Yeah,
I
yeah. No,
know.
but this is a very important point,
Yeah.
and it's something that I've scribbled and not mentioned, which is those dates that we talk about.
Mm.
Maybe one or two are one on one, and the next step very much should be, uh,
In a group.
yeah, going out with his friends or your friends. You see the person very differently.
Very differently.
Yeah.
And or maybe that can be a first way
Also,
to break the ice, and
also, if
to,
you have friends good enough to do that for you, then
or maybe you have common friends, and
yeah,
you just figure out a
that's
group,
right.
a plan, like you say, chalo, let's go here or there, or spend a couple of days, and outside in and around Bombay, around here,
Yeah,
there are so
yeah,
many places to go.
yeah. You get a sense, totally get a sense of a person, no? Outside just a restaurant sitting,
Talk. Is
yeah,
he sitting silently and not
just
talking?
talking.
Does he have anything to offer or not?
Yeah,
Does
yeah,
he speak? Does he help out? Does he carry the bartans
yeah,
inside when we have finished
correct, correct.
eating outside in the barbecue? Does he help everyone wrap up the tent?
Yeah. How
What
is he? How
what is
is he with how is he with servers and staff?
yeah,
That's also important to know.
all sorts of things.
Yeah,
One gets to know on travel, I think, what a person is like. I used to do it a lot, but now
yeah.
I'm
So
lazy.
this that first question we had, that person was about to go on a holiday with this person as the next step, a small holiday,
Mm.
and his children were in his face. That's the time when he decided he's going to say this. And one of the things I suggested was that maybe he just organize a Zoom talk, Zoom meetup between her children, his children, himself, and her, where they kind of also get to see one set of children being more concerned about the mother than being so,
Mm.
don't do this, don't do this. And everybody's obliged to be on good behavior. Because
Mm.
being strangers, just Zoom, because they were all in very disparate places.
Mm. But do you really think that's what's your personal opinion on this? He thought of that, but what did you feel about that?
Yeah, no, no, he thought of going on a holiday and was,
Holiday, so you suggested
I,
Zoom
yeah, I suggested that not instead of, but
as
He
a
said, "Yeah, I will." feeling that don't get bullied by your children, but yes, I understand that you want to carry them along. You don't want them to. He was actually very surprised at how they were bullying him actually, pretty judgmental and bullying in their responses to him.
How sad, poor fellow.
Yeah, yeah. And this holiday thing, he just felt that it was, definitely will give them both a sense of uh,
Mm.
what they are about.
But
And
why do you have to listen to his kids? That's my
yeah,
question.
no, so his thing was that was I'll find the question and send it to you sometime. His,
Okay.
his thing was I don't want to start off on this footing where I tell them go to hell, I'll do what I want. I don't want that.
Oh, oh,
Wanted to carry them along a bit more.
mm.
So they've just taken a very hypercritical, hyper-conservative stand. And
Mm.
don't embarrass us was the thing. I
How
thought
old, how old are they, if I may ask?
so. This person is 72. So
Okay.
I'm assuming his kids were in their what 30s, mid 30s,
Okay.
40s, that age.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I know it takes all kinds.
yeah,
I think that
yeah, yeah.
every family situation is different.
Different. Yeah. I do think that, on a parting note, I just feel that even for a person who's considering it, they must also consider how to be happy alone parallelly. Parallelly.
Absolutely, you said it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
spoke my favorite words because I
Yeah.
think end of the day we are all alone. I mean, if
Yeah.
you take spirituality, I've become a bit boring in life now, so I'm going that path because I listen to a lot of videos on say consciousness. So science versus there's four horsemen
Mm.
and those debates that happened on television, God versus science and things like that.
Right.
God is not great, there is no God, and all of that.
Uh,
So I'm going in that what is consciousness? It's yourself, and you in the end we all have to be able to first, I think, be comfortable with ourselves and happy with ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Only then you can.
And not also be, and if you are, then not be unnecessarily destabilized by people saying, don't be alone, marry somebody. Even
Right.
that. Have to, it's, this particular person, I think, has got, when he says, I'm certainly not going to leap, I thought that's a strong and important thing he knows about himself.
Hmm.
That he'll do this because he wants to and not because he has to, if at all.
But that's also very good. I think that like you said, he
Yeah,
recognized this about himself.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's acting on something that he is going to be comfortable with himself
yeah,
in later. He
yeah.
won't regret it. He won't kick himself and say, "Oh God,
What have I
you know,
got?
what did I
Yeah,
do?"
that's right.
Yeah,
And for that, I think all these other things have to kind of, you
yeah,
have a fix on them. It's no use if the other person has never given that a thought or has some very la la land idea of what life will be once two older people merge.
yeah.
It's not overthinking. I think it's the right kind of thinking.
Right, right. Gauri, I'm sorry you've been talking to a black screen with me, but
No,
I
no, that's fine.
I'm
That's
just not comfortable at this moment. I'm
yeah.
feeling like I'm looking like nothing and I'm lying down and
No,
my
no, it's fine.
eyes are, yeah, I'm tired sort of. But I've been enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Good you joined and
Thank you for all your thoughts and your very experienced thoughts and all the different facets that you have brought into this conversation.
thank you, and you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll stop here, Krish. No, sorry, it's not Krish today. Uh,
Next.
yeah, hi. Yeah, we'll stop here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much,
Thank
and I'm
you.
seeing you people.
Yeah.